Yesterday, after my second video went up, I got contacted through Facebook again by Lucy, and Lucy sent me a picture of their brand new Covington her and her husband just got, same one that I have, and she said the video was extremely helpful to her too. Yay! You know what? I forgot. These things are giving a ridiculous glare, and I'm a little blurry now. I took them off. I'm supposed to wear them nonstop for the next 5 days, but for the purpose of this video, so you guys can see my face and not the reflection, because I didn't know anything about glasses and anti-glare. I know now. So that my life is I screw it up, and then I figure out how not to screw it up again. So, oh goodness. Anyways, so Lucy seemed very serious when she asked one other question. What's a dop stick? So, you know, this is information that I found when I immediately started looking. And if you read the book that came with your Covington, oh, geez, that wasn't supposed to happen. Be more careful than me. I almost cracked my skull open with a really cool thunder egg. Well, I only broke a little bit of the matrix off, so that's good. It's a cool thunder egg. I'm going to polish that. Anyways, read the book that came with your Covington. That's one thing that'll definitely help you. Definitely read that book. All right, back to the matter at hand. What is a dop stick? A dop stick is a stick with wax on the end of it that you use to hold a stone so that you don't do the things to your fingers like I was talking about yesterday with rubbing your nails off and your skin on the wheels. When the stones get small and you're trying to make them round and cabbed, they're really, really hard to handle, and your hands end up touching the wheels and you end up dropping the stones. So that's what a dop stick is for. And since she was very serious in not understanding or not knowing what a dop stick is, and I just sort of glossed over, you know, how to do dopping, I'm going to show you how to make some dop sticks real cheap, as long as you got some dop stick wax and a couple of amenities around the house, and not get overcharged by buying dop sticks from lapidary places that are going to try and charge you, you know, more than the price of wood. Although there are some smaller dop sticks that you might want to get from them, although I think probably just use a good toothpick, right? Right? All right, moving right along. Real quick, before I get to the dop sticks, I also want to respond to the rat's nest and comment about the cords. And like a month ago, there was the comment about not having the machine plugged directly in the wall. Look, I listened last time, and it's not really a rat's nest. It just sort of looks like it, all right? I'm going to show you why. All right. The cord to the machine is actually running above the machine. All the cords are above the machine, above the water area. The extension cords, man, gosh. The power strip, now that I figured that out, power strip is up on top, and all of the cords are running to the power strip. Now I've got lights everywhere. I've got a fan. I made this track lighting set up, and it's not wired through the house. It's a corded setup, so I can take it with me if we move, when we move. We're renting. We don't own this place. I've got other lights over here, and then I've also got my heat lamp set up for warming some stones. So when I first set up, it was definitely much more hairy-carry. Now I've got it set up. I've got the area where it's plugged in covered so water can't splash it, and I've also got a surge protector set up. So it looks sort of hairy-carry, but it's not. It's much better now than it used to be. Moving right along. All right, for the full process, some of the things you're going to need is some dop wax. For my process, a reusable, or not a reusable, a trash stainless steel pot. A garbage one to be perfect. Not non-stick, because you don't want the non-stick getting in the wax. That's just what I'm thinking in my head, right? And also a hot plate, but you can use your oven. You just want to make sure you don't drip any of the wax anywhere. It'd be sort of a pain in the butt sometimes. And a bag of multi-sized wooden dowels. Not a lot, right? Boop. Now to get our stuff down to get our dowels cut down, we are going to simply mark them into thirds. So 2 marks, middle of your stick, mark it into thirds on all your dowels. That is going to be a plenty long enough dop stick. And we are going to do this cutting right here on our Covington because it's easy and ready to go, right? There is a trick to this though. Now, these are too long and it's not going to want to go against that. So the trick is you're going to want to use the top of the blade and you're going to want to be putting force away from itself. So you're actually like pulling the stick apart while you're cutting it a little bit. Because you're going to be on top of the blade. Whoa, that wasn't good. My guard isn't tightened down enough. There we go. Whoa, it's spraying me in the face. All right, top of the blade, pulling the stick apart a little bit. There we go. Let me show you why you're pulling the stick apart. If you're not pulling the stick apart, the blade, whoops, well, this is a good stick to do that with. If you're not pulling the stick apart, the blade is gonna bite. Well, that wasn't a very good representation, but trust me on this. Put pressure with the stick being pulled apart, and it's better for you when it's done than if you just not let it, if you do it without doing that. It sort of skips. Doesn't take a lot of pressure, you're just putting pressure to where they're pulling away from each other. So now we've got our wooden dowels. If they're wet at all, if your saw was wet, you're going to want to let them dry out before you go and start putting them in the wax because the wax will not attach to them while they're wet. Drying my sticks out and warming my stones underneath the heat lamp. We already had a heat lamp, so I'm lucky on that one, not something I needed to purchase. Alright, you want to keep an eye on your wax. You're not going to want to overcook it. You want it to be liquidy, but you don't want it to be too thick. While you're working with it, just go ahead and take it off of the pot and spin your dowels in the edge until you get them with the way you want them, and then dip them in water. As soon as you dip them in that cold water, it's going to turn hard and you can throw them inside of your box. And this is how you get a bunch of dowels done relatively fast. Get it dripping the way I want. It's not covering all the wood good enough right there. It's starting to drip off the wood. And I like to have a little bit of wax because I'm just beginning at this, and I like to have a wax top that I've sort of formed with my fingers. And it's starting to harden up a little bit. You can tell it starts to provide a skin. When it's starting to get too thick of a skin, it really doesn't want to attach to the wood. And so if it's not wanting to attach to the wood, you need to put it back on the burner. See that? See how it's not really attaching to the bottom of that wood? So I just put it back on the burner and I use one of the big dowels to stir it with. Sort of try and gather everything up in one area so the oils inside the wax stay together. That's a good one though now. Dip it in the water and it's, well, that wasn't totally hard, but there we go. Alright. Got my dop sticks here, and my stones are still under the lamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my hand nice and wet, soaking with water. I'm going to make sure these dop sticks have enough wax on them, and I'm going to get them sort of shaped and ready for... I'm going to burn my dop stick a little bit there. Shaped and ready for dopping. I don't want to get them too wet or too loose because then it'll just melt everywhere. And I want to, dang, that's stuck good. I want to make sure there's enough water on my hand or else this stuff will just stick to you. Damn. I know there's enough water on my hand. Why do you keep sticking to me? All right. Now what I'm going for here is I'm just putting a little nub on it. I'm going to shape all four of them right there to where I can sort of heat that nub and let it melt down around the rest of this, and then dop this on the dot. All right, I got some dop sticks pre-shaped and ready to go. I'm going to move my stones over here. I've got my flame lit. I've got my dop wax sticks ready to go. I've got a pail of water right here, and I've got my stones nice and warm. Maybe a little bit hot. I can go ahead and lift that off there a little bit, let those cool. Stones are a little bit hot. If the stones are too hot, the wax will just run all over them, and that's no good. So let's get one dopped real quick here. I'm just sort of gathering the tip of the wax so it starts to drip like that, looking all nice. Shape it a little bit. There we go. And attaching it to the stone. This stone is not round, so I'm not going to be able to just like attach it on the, this stone is round, so I'm not going to be able to just attach it upside down. I need to pick it up on the dop wax and sort of straighten it as the wax dries. I think that's about good. I can work with that anyways because the stone isn't perfectly straight to begin with, and this is the area I want to take most of the brown off of. So, and that should be on there. I'm going to go ahead and dip it in some water just to cool it. And there you go. That's how you dop a stone. Now the other way that you can dop a stone is you can have some tweezers, and you can take your stone and you can fan it over the flames until it's warm, and then get your dop ready and dip them. That's a little bit difficult for me though. I'm new at this, and this setup is the easiest for me in the long run. So I'm gonna dop a couple more stones and then I'll post this video up online. When I'm dopping a stone like this, I'm really just trying to get the tip of the wax nice and warm. Not quite liquidy, but definitely moving. I go ahead and place it on the top of the stone. Make sure the stone's going to lift with the wax. And then I want to get it as straight as possible, depending on how I want the dome of the stone to come out. Get it nice and straight. Equal it out. Should be good. Now to remove,
and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out all my other videos.
Just look at the
don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Try and find a
share,
spot where your
like,
blade is going to fit
support.
all right.
Have a great day. See you guys soon.
See, I have one here because this stone is very, very rounded. Now all I'm going to do is put light pressure and it pops right off. The wax is actually extremely brittle, so you can just scrape the rest of that off if you need to. Which I'm actually going to re-dop this stone and try and finish it off. But you don't want to scrape the stone, you're just sort of prying the wax off. And that's how you take it off the dop stick. Pretty simple.